with us and actually, Christians do not know anything about his becoming, how he became Christ, or what was the need to have Christ or a son to come down. Why not God himself could do the job? And this is the reason why I would request you to read for yourself the incarnation of Mahavishnu, by which you realize why Christ was born. And it is the most important incarnation because he is the principle. He is the principle of creation. Tattva, as they call it in Sanskrit language, he is the Tattva. Ganesha, though resides in the Mooladhara, gradually evolves to be Christ at this stage. From that red chakra up to this chakra, he becomes Christ. He is the principle. Now, what is the principle? Within us, what is our principle? Is, say, the Kundalini, you can say. In this, the electricity is the principle of this one is. In the same way, the creation, the whole creation, if you take it as such, it is the principle and the support of this creation. He represents the essence of creation. Like we can say, we have a family, husband and wife, and the child. Now the child is the essence of husband and wife. He is the essence of the family, of the house. The whole thing is sustained for him, is created for him. Till they did not have the child, there was no meaning to that house, no meaning to their life. But when they had a child, then they had a meaning. In the same way, Christ is the essence, is the Tattva itself. He is the Omkara, as they call it. He is the first sound that was created, Om. When the primordial father and primordial mother separated, they created this sound. And he is that sound which is filled into all-pervading power and looks after and supports. Actually, it is more the support, because looking after is done by the father, you can say, or by the mother, but is the support of all the universe. And because he is just the essence never dies. Say, my essence is my spirit. It will never die. The body dies, all the creation will die, but the essence has to be there. If the essence is lost, then nothing could be there. That's why he is the most important incarnation, because he is the support. Now this incarnation is placed in this Agnya chakra of ours. Here, in the center, where the optic nerve or optic thalamus cross each other like this, in the center is a very subtle point, which moves both the sides like this and like that. And it creates two sounds, hum, ksham, hum, ksham, hum, ksham. Hum is on the right hand side where you have seen. The superego is there. And ksham is on the left hand side where the ego is. Now these two sounds create two kinds of vibrations. The hum sound creates the vibrations which make you think, I am. Hum, I am. This comes from our existence power, that we know we have to live in this world. We are not going to die. Any human being who tries to kill himself is abnormal. Normally, every human being, every animal or any living thing tries to retain its life. That is through this power of hum, that I am. Now the superego on the left hand side and the ego on the right hand side is ksham. But now I'll tell you about the right hand side, superego. In this superego, when you are conditioned by so many things, then you are frightened and you are worried, because these experiences make you that type of a person which has fear in the mind. And this fear is all settled in your superego. This starts from your amoeba stage, you can say, and it still today is being stored there. You are afraid of police, you are afraid of that, you are afraid of this. Some people are not afraid of these things but are afraid of something else, because whatever have been your conditions, whatever have been your experiences are all put down here. Moreover, say somebody reads the book of Dracula. Now he is afraid of the word Dracula. But the children who do not read, they do not know what is a Dracula is. If you say Dracula has come, they said, all right, let's have a look at him. But those children have read about Dracula, they are literally frightened and they say, oh God, Dracula is coming, something terrible is going to happen. So, you see, whatever you have read, whatever you have gone through, whatever experiences you have had, all is in the superego. So this superego, in that, this center sends message. I am, you are, hum, hum, don't be afraid, you are. So the people who come to me, you have seen some people who come to me are victims of superego conditioning. And these are the people, actually at this stage only you can really discriminate between the two types. One who are very aggressive, the other who are absolutely, we should say, subordinated, frightened. These people, when they come to me, I've seen they go on crying and weeping, mother, this has happened, that has happened, and I really get tired talking to them. And there are so many of this kind that really you have to pay attention to them as Sahaja Yogis, because you will have to deal with them, how to manage them and how to work it out. Now at that time, if a Sahaja Yogi says, now you go on saying hum, 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 hum. A Sahaja Yogi, if he says, then the vibrations will drive out his fear. Even if you are under any fear and you're walking around and you feel that there's frightened, you just say hum, hum, hum. Now, with this saying, the vibrations will clear out this side very nicely. Apart from that, that is the way you can get help from the divine, by saying hum. Now there are many things about hum and ksham, but as the time is, so I do not want to go into great details about it, but I would say the mantra for the right hand side is hum, and for the left hand side is ksham. The right hand side is the ego, which is real problem, you understand that, is a real colossal one. You have to face them. I say anything small here and there, I find the whole thing coming up onto my head like that. So what is the solution for a colossal ego? Colossal ego can only be conquered by forgiving others. Those who have ego must learn, if they feel hurt, they must say forgive. Then another person hurts them, say forgive. And not only forgive, but ask for forgiveness. Both things should be done, more asking for forgiveness. You have to ask for forgiveness if you have too much of ego. It is very important, because if you have too much of ego, means what? That you have pampered it too much. That means you have used it too much. You have dominated people, and that's why you have such a lot of ego. If you have such a lot of ego, you must all the time try to humble down in your heart. Now, in the heart resides the spirit. The ego, too much of ego in a person, always takes you away from that spirit. That's why it is said, humble down in your heart. The reason is, in the heart resides that part of yours which gets completely obliterated or forgotten once you start pumping up your ego. But ego has its limits. It ends up into stupidity and foolishness. You take any person who is egoistical and who is blowing his own trumpet, you will immediately know because he'll be stupid. Without understanding what he's doing, he'll be doing such stupid things that you will start wondering, especially children, what's the matter with this fellow? Seems quite funny. And when the stupidity, you see, faces the person, then he sees for himself, oh God, how did I become so stupid? The stupidity comes to you because you forget the existence of God and your relationship with the whole. You think I am on my own. Why should I not do this? What is wrong in this? What is wrong in that? I should do these things. I mean, in this country, the way people are fighting for things, I mean, you must. Anybody, I mean, those so-called developing countries can't understand what's kind of a thing happening to these people, because the other day my son-in-law was reading an article that people are demanding now that a son-in-law should be allowed to marry the mother-in-law. And he just couldn't understand how can people gather together and ask for such an absurd thing like that. She is your mother. How can you say that way? I mean, it's something, an impossibility for people, normal people, to think like that a son-in-law can marry the mother-in-law. And what is there to make a law about it and to talk about it? It's a very difficult thing. All kinds of stupid things we are doing in this country, which really makes everybody roar with laughter, is because of our Mr. Ego companionship. It is not easy to understand how he befools us. It goes on befooling us all the time, and then we think, what's wrong? An 80-year-old man running after a 20-year-old girl, and the 20-year-old girl befooling this 80-year-old man, supposed to be a statesman, they start, and his statue is erected somewhere there. How is it possible? It is only the ego makes you do all these nonsensical and stupid things. Once you are in Sahaja Yoga, you don't know how to control your laughter sometimes, the way people are foolish, extremely foolish. And this is what it is. It ends up in stupidity, absolute stupidity. I mean, even if you have want to write a novel, you won't get such beautiful characters as you could around you when you listen to them, and you are shocked, oh God, what's this going on? And very embarrassing too, extremely embarrassing. They become so foolish with their ego that one cannot understand how thinking man, because by thinking you get your ego, becomes foolish. There is no wisdom in a person whose ego is completely developed like that. If somebody has an ego like that, there is no wisdom in him. You can see that he does not know what is wisdom. He behaves in such an immature way. He may be an elderly man, great-grandfather of somebody, but as soon as he opens his mouth, you are shocked at him. You think, from where this joker has come? The maturity is completely lacking. The other day somebody told me that, Mother, how is it our parents are so stupid and we are searching God? And the elderly people are so foolish and we are searching God. And then I said, no, maybe because of war, the parents are disturbed, you see. Most of the parents were disturbed during war. And they said majority of them are like this. And the younger people are searching God and much wiser. And we don't know how to compromise with them because they are not searching God. Why is it they are not searching God and we are searching God? And if there are some searching, there are very few. Now, I said this may be due to war, but somebody said, then what about America? You see, in America, the people didn't face war so much. The stupidity that they have is sometimes surprising. That is, the same thing, as I said, is the development of ego in a human being. Now, ego is the thing that makes you think about everything. For example, now, we have to, say, go from here to Birmingham. All right? So we think, now how will I go? Simple way is that I'll take a train or I'll take a car and go away. If there's no reservation needed, I will just jump into the train or go by the car. If the car is available, I'll go by car or by train. Finished. What is there to think about it? but no. Then we must plan it out. So I have programmed now. I have to go. So you go to the station and find the train is not there because there was some accident, so the train is not moving. So you are absolutely upset because you think that the train has gone, now what to do? In that upsetting, you do not even remember that you have a car and you have to go by the car. Now, that whole thing upsets you because you had plans to go by train and you had planned everything. Now you cannot reach there, and what will happen? Now you are sitting here and worrying about it. Another person who is spontaneous, what will you do? All right, depends on, I may go by train or by car, whatever I feel like at that time. He's sitting tight. So he goes to the train, sees if the train is there, if it is nicely, there's a space available, he gets into it. If the train is not available, all right, he comes home, takes his car and goes away. So now you have informed the people that you must meet at such and such place. That's also is there, you see. So those people are running up down there and they will be there at the station. Now, what's the matter? Even if they're at the station, you can meet them at the station. You go by train and you can meet them. What is there to be that much upset about it? You see, you can always contact them. But the way we get upset, we have spoiled the complete program of going to Birmingham, which is a very beautiful program that we have got. We have to meet new people, we have to meet many people, we have to enjoy ourselves. That's all finished. Because we had planned something and it did not work out, we are finished. All these things make us a miserable person. And we are so miserable and so grudging and so boring that those who are next to you just get fed up of it and they say, now shut up. If you are not going to Birmingham, if you are not going, don't go, but don't eat my head now. It is a common experience of many. If this Mr. Ego, he doesn't want you to be happy. He doesn't want you to be relaxed. He all the time gives you ideas and tells you do this and do that and you must get it done and this is to be done and you better inform that person, be meticulous about it. And it will go to such details that anything fails, you are finished. Because your nerves are already finished and shattered. Anything, even a drop of inconvenience comes into you or even a feather of disturbance is there, you are finished. And so everybody is rattling, we have tensions, we have problems. Why? What is the advantage of doing all these things? No advantage, you know that. But then why do you do it? Because you have a big ego. It won't allow you to rest. Whatever you may try, it won't. So what is the solution of that? Morning till evening, ask for forgiveness from God. Pull your ears from both the sides and say, oh God, forgive me. Oh God, forgive me. And oh God, forgive me. So this balloon of ego goes down a little. Remember Him morning, evening, every time. Remembering Christ brings down your ego very much. He did everything that was possible that you should not develop your ego. Everything that was possible. He was born as an ordinary carpenter's son. Lived in the most ordinary conditions. Kept himself behind the whole scene. He could have been born as Roman emperor. He could have been anybody there. But no, he was born himself. You know that he took his birth in a place where even ordinary people do not take their births. But there also the light was there. Wherever he was born, there was light and joy. And this is the thing we have to know, that we have lost the joy because we have forgotten God Almighty. When we forget Him, that He is love and He is joy, naturally joy is also forgotten. And then we see people are not at all happy. They have affluence, they have money, they have everything. But still they are not happy. All the time they are in such a mess that you don't know how to talk to them. If you say this word, they'll be angry. If you say that word, they'll be angry. They are not at all normal human beings. They are sick people, sick with their ego. It's a very simple thing, is to ask for forgiveness. But how many times do we do that? not even once a day, not even once a month, not even once a year. Even on a Christmas day, if he could say, "Forgive us, O Lord, for whatever we have done so far, it will work out." But that day, we must have champagne to forgive him more. We must have gossips, and we must have all the arrogant things by the time it is the end of Christmas. This ego, the yellow side one, is the one that presses your superego too much. It does. It presses it so much sometimes that a person forgets that others are hurt by what they talk. On the contrary, they devise methods how to say things which are cutting, which are hurting, which are painful to others. They say such things. All the time if you see a person, say from a village, if he comes and sees, he'll think, are they quarreling or what are they doing? The whole discussion. Even in the parliament I was surprised. The way they talk to each other. No bull will treat another bull that way. See? Even a dog normally does not bark at another dog. No animal in the world all the time is barking at its fellow man. No animal in the whole world, I can tell you this much. Only the human beings, if two people are there all the time, they are going ho 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 all the time that way. How is it possible? His ego and her ego, or maybe both his ego, are dashing at each other. And there is a kind of a funny type of feeling that, oh, I have mastered the thing. I have got the thing. I have got the point. I have proved the point. But in that, I have lost everything that was so beautiful and so much joy-giving within me. Actually, a sensible person would receive it from the place where two people are having an argument. Argument is a sign of tomfoolery. I haven't seen any argument coming to any end whatsoever. If it is, then it's all right. But it never does come. Because if you ask me questions, I answer. All right? If you do not like the answer, give it up. But if you argue with me still, and I argue with you, where will you end? Argument is not going to lead you to any knowledge, but a very terrible ego developing into you. The whole modern concept is ego-oriented. All Western countries are ego-oriented. They want to develop your ego and pamper it. There are so many other ways by which they do. Why I'm talking more about it? Because we are all supposed to be Western people and affluent people. We're supposed to be very wise and leading or misleading, I don't know, the developing countries. So we have to understand ourselves, where are we as far as our understanding of things are concerned. How ego is pampered within us is by a large-scale method. They work on your ego throughout to have all these so-called enterprises. For example, to a woman they'll say, oh, you must have a waist like this, and you must have a face like this, and you must have, for a man, you must have this kind of a body, and you should be Mr. Universe, or you should be something. So the man starts working on it immediately. There are so many people I've seen running on the roads in this cold, I don't understand, like mad, and some of them are member of parliaments. The whole night they keep awake and the whole day they are running about. I say, what are you doing? What is the need to do this? To keep good health, you must do it. To keep good health, don't work like mad. Be a sensible and a wise person. Wisdom is to be sought, to keep good health, to be all right, and not this kind of mad, ego-oriented thing. So then the one way is to excite your ego about your physics. Then there is ego about, you must have a big car. You see, people try to show off their possessions. You have a big car, then they are going about. They really look to me like jokers. That's all they are. Car I can understand is a convenience, and a good quality car, if somebody can afford, should have it, because it's a headache to have a bad car, so it's alright. But by having a car, you become something great. You may not have food in the house, but you must have a very good car to go about. And all these ideas come. Then they will advertise, you see, this will be a very good car for you. what is it for you? It is nothing but to pamper your ego. All these advertisements are nothing but by which your ego is pampered. All these things are treated. Now, in America, if you go, every handle has to be different, everything has to be different. Why so much difference in everything? Why do you want to have everything so different? Is it some aesthetics you think in that? It is none of the aesthetics, but it's just to pamper your ego. Even the so-called art carousers are nothing but ego pamperers. Your stamp collections, this, that, all this is nothing but ego pampering. And what a waste of time, you just think about it. This ego thing comes into us because we are, first of all, as I said, that in the West, the living was very difficult. They had to fight the nature. And when you have to fight the nature, you have to develop your ego to fight it. Or actually, when you are fighting the nature, the ego develops with it. And then once that momentum has started in you, it is very difficult to bring it down. It is such a terrible disease that people have taken it for granted that that's a part of their lives. You are not your ego. You are not. When I say that you must surrender yourself to God, they say, Mother, why should we surrender? Yourself means that ego with which you are identified. I don't say that you surrender your wisdom. Or I can say surrender your ego to your wisdom. But it is so difficult to give it up because we have learned to live with it, identified with it. We just cannot think of life without our ego. We just cannot. And it is gone to such an extent that we don't even realize how far we have gone in cruelty. Like, I like this kind, I like that kind. You go to somebody's house and you say like this. It's indecent to talk like that. It is vulgar to express I like. Who are you? Are you God? I want this, I want that, I am very particular about this, who are you? Just ask yourself a question, who am I? I am the spirit. I am that eternal being. Have I become that? On the contrary, we are hurting everybody's spirit by our ego. Every moment when we talk to others, we are hurting them. Actually, people have lost faith in God because those who are in charge of God are so arrogant and so egoistical that it has become impossible for anybody to think of God which is beyond your ego. You will be surprised. Ego is absolutely superficial like a bubble. It is just like a balloon which can burst just like that. And it should go. It should go so that you should rise. It should disappear so that your attention rises in your spirit. And that you see the whole world as a part of that spirit that you are. This is the boundary which you have to cross, and for that we have to take help from Christ. Christ crucified himself. Why? Because what did he do? Did he loot people? Today you have thousands of these thugs coming here and looting you. Nobody crucifies them. What did he do? He just challenged the ego of these Romans and of these Jews, those who were angry with him. And that's why he was crucified. And we have to crucify our ego now through his cross. Otherwise, we are going to do the same again to ourselves, that in our own being we crucify our Christ by our ego. It is a very symbolic death of Christ. His birth in the most humble place, in a very humble place. He is born in the optic thalamus, you can say, is the place where this brain, all activities coming and all sorts of problems there facing you. And there he lives. And you have to just awaken him there so that your ego is crucified once for all. But I don't say you fight your ego, because it is not that important to fight. You are fighting with your shadow. You have a shadow which is called as ego, which is not to be fought and to waste your energy on it. There's no need to fight it. Only thing, if you stand in the center of the light, you don't see any shadow. It is so simple as that. If you stand in the center of light, that is Christ, you don't see any shadow anywhere. But when I say this, I may sound like other people who give sermon. Stand in the shadow of Christ, or stand in the light of Christ. Now what does that mean? Where is that light? Where is that place where you should stand? And that place is here in the center of your optic thalamus, where there is no thought. You have to stand in thoughtless awareness. Many people who have had a problem with Agnya, many people who have come, and they will be beyond thought. And this is a very, very important chakra for Sahaja Yogis, because when the Kundalini rises above the Agnya chakra, immediately there is no thought. You do not get any thoughts from ego or superego. But there is a wobbling in the Agnya because of your imbalanced ways. And the imbalanced ways are that sometimes you are with ego or with superego. This has happened to our people in the West because we have had so much of ego, we got really tired of it. We got frightened with it. Then we started taking to drugs and things to increase our superego. But by doing that, what we are doing is pushing by one end, bringing it by another end, and that's how we are wobbling our ego and superego, by which we are not helping ourselves at all. So what one has to do is to rise within oneself up to the point of Agnya and try to steady your Agnya. There are many people who have asked me one question: how to steady the Agnya? Agnya is placed at the crossing point of our nerves and also optic thalamus. Now, so it is said that if you have wobbling eyes, you will have a wobbling Agnya. You have to steady your eyes. You have to soothe them. Now, it is very, very out of date, ancient, old, and all sorts of names that you call it to a thing like that. But you must steady your eyes and steady them in such a way that it is very soothing for the eyes. Which is the most soothing thing for the eyes is the green grass. If you could see the green grass with your eyes, means you walk with your eyes on the ground. Your eyes will be soothed, your Agnya will be all right. That's why Christ said that I tell you about the adulterous eyes. He talked about adulterous eyes, the eyes with which you do adultery. It's a very common thing these days. Every woman a man must see, every man a woman must see. As if it is the most important job. If you have not seen one woman, you have finished. I mean, this is being modern. But I am an old-fashioned lady. And at the time of Christ, he said, you should not have adulterous eyes. And the ones who have adulterous eyes are no more than any other but our Western Christians, who all the time, even in the church, even when they are giving sermon, their eyes are moving with adultery. These eyes have to be very, very pure, very, very deep, and very loving when you want to have your Agnya all right. Because you receive through your eyes. Say, if you have closed your eyes, you do not put your attention to anything because your eyes are closed. You are not adding more thoughts to yourself. But if your eyes are open, you are adding much more thoughts, because everywhere the eyes go, the attention goes, and you see things and create thoughts and put in them. So your attention, which has to go to the Spirit, which has to go to God, which has to shine through the window of divine, this beautiful thing is ruined by the way we use our eyes, and we do not respect it. There's nothing so pure and beautiful as the grass on the ground, or the ground itself. which takes our feet, which supports us, which looks after us, enriches us. We should put our eyes on the Mother Earth instead of looking at every person. But from Sahaja Yoga point of view now, many of you know what happens to your eyes when you look at somebody. Maybe entity might enter into your eyes. And it is, you will be amazed, that it is the play of the entity, what we call this so-called flirting is. I've talked about it before also, and people didn't like it when I told them about it. But I've seen actual entities entering from eyes to eyes. I've seen very simple people who come down to such places, say in a party. In a party, people are just exchanging entities from one eye to another. Once it goes to another person, he puts his entity into another person, and that goes into another person. All the time your attention is diverted, and you feel it is attracted towards something. You do not know why it is attracted. Now the certain symbols are also made like that. To add up to the problems, you see, all the society is working at it, that you should appear in such a way that every man should look at you. Every woman should look at you. Why? What is the use? Supposing I look at you, what do I get? What do I get by looking at a person? What is the advantage? Just looking at a person? We are wasting such a lot of energy for what? In the same way, if you are walking on the roads, on we are seeing some beautiful things, all right. If you have to buy something, all right, go ahead, see those things, whatever you have to select is all right. But all the time, just because your eyes are such, you are just doing it, and you do not know the reason why you are doing like this. All the time, why your eyes are wobbling. And that is a sure and certain sign for a person to become mad. Absolutely, that's a sure and certain sign, is when a person is mad. How do you make it out that a person is lunatic? If you see his eyes, the iris and the eyes are all the time wobbling. They cannot keep it steady. Or they are sick. There also you can see that these eyes are all the time wobbling. There's no steadiness. Not only this, but you have seen those people who come in the Sahaja Yoga, when they close their eyes, they find their eyes are flickering. Their eyelids are flickering. That means there's some sort of a disturbance in the Kundalini rising. Whole tension, if you call it as 100, then at least 80% of it comes through our eyes. Then how important it is to protect our eyes from all kind of useless activities we are doing. Christ's life shows so many aspects of how to respect others. But one of them, which is being very much misused throughout, is that of the prostitute. He saved the prostitute. He saved her, no doubt. But you spoil those prostitutes. A good woman, you make her into prostitutes. You give her ideas by which she becomes a prostitute. A good hazif is turned into a prostitute by an egoistical man. Young, small girls who are virgins are being destroyed by your dirty glances. Do you realize this? That you are doing just the opposite what Christ had done. And you say that he saved Christ, so even if we are prostitutes, he'll save us. But why be prostitutes? This is such a stupid style of thinking, that we should become prostitutes so that Christ will save us. One has to think about all these things in the proper light of Sahaja Yoga. Unless and until you are realized, my talk is just useless for you. But once you are realized, you will know that if you glance at someone, you might suddenly get a headache at the back. You might feel a dart has gone into your head or something has happened. You might feel that you are blinding with somebody's face. and you will get all kinds of experiences by which you will know how important are your eyes. All your nervousness and everything can be cured if you have pure eyes. But it is such a vicious circle that through your eyes you gather all the bad and is accumulated in the Agnya, and you have to clear the Agnya to make the eyes clear. It's a vicious circle. But it can start at a point, as I said, we have to ask for forgiveness. Secondly, we have to bring Christ in our Agnya chakra. Thirdly, we have to give up all drugs and all intoxicants and all smoking. That happens automatically when you are a Sahaja Yogi. It will work out. But eyes express the whole of your being, your brain, your body, your limbs, everything. And if your Agnya is all right, then your eyes are perfectly all right. They emit nothing but love. Wherever they glance, only with the glance of your eyes you can raise the Kundalini. Only with the glance of your eyes you can cure people. Only with your glance you can bring joy into the destroyed and the ruined people. So these eyes which you see are the windows of your being, of your heart. When the spirit is expressed through your eyes, you must have noticed yourself that when the Kundalini rises, then the eyes become dilated. And a realized soul has got black eyes because they have these eyes are dilated. At least when I see them, they are all dilated black eyes. Apart from that, a realized soul can be made out by his eyes which are sparkling. There's a sparkle like diamonds. They sparkle all the time, and you can make out from the eyes that this person is a realized soul. There's a tremendous difference between a non-realized soul's eyes and the realized soul's eyes. So you can imagine how your spirit sees through your eyes. But if the eyes are not pure, it doesn't stay there long. So if we have to understand Christ, physically we have to respect our eyes. Mentally we have to give up all that is impure in our mind. Now, so we come to the impurities of the mind. And the impurities of mind are, there are so many poisons you know about. There are books and books written about the poisons. And the psychologists are supposed to take out all your poisons. I don't know if they can do it at all. But they have the worst Agnya. All these psychologists have the worst Agnya, and I don't think they are capable of really giving any relief to people who are suffering mentally. Mental sufferings are of two types. The same thing is that one is, vibrations are so much on this one. One type of mental troubles are where people oppress you very much. You see, you go on bearing the cross. Now, this is a very wrong idea people have about Christ. Bearing the cross doesn't mean that anybody who tries to oppress you, you should go on taking the enslavement upon yourself. You are not to enslave to anyone whatsoever. Anybody who tries to make a slave out of you, you should deny it, absolutely. You should say, I am. Who are you to dominate? Anyone, whether you are of a black skin or a red skin or a yellow skin, nobody has right to dominate anyone in this whole world. And if anybody is doing it or what to do now, after all, you see, we are poor people, or we are like this, or he is supporting and all that, then they are running away from their duty towards themselves. Such people cannot get realization. Slaves are not going to become kings. So the slavery that is supposed to be confused with bearing the cross is another confusion of modern times. We have to rise in our self-respect. And we have to understand that no one in this world has a right to dominate us. But then what is bearing of the cross is? First of all, the people of his level never suffer. It's just a joke going on. It's a leela. It's a play going on for them. They never suffer. And even if they so-called act as suffering, they just do it because they want to do it. They are not helpless people. They are not slaves. And those who think that by bearing it up and by suffering it, we are becoming Christians, they should know they are psychological cases. And if they are crying and weeping and all the time saying, what to do? You see, I'm in love and my lover tortures me. You are neither in love, neither you have a lover. It is a kind of a psychological clubbing that he is a dominating man and you like his domination, that's why you are together. It's a simple fact. So every human being has his own self-respect. And he must respect his self, that is the spirit within him. Under the rule of God, nobody has the right to dominate anybody's spirit. But when you are given freedom, you go to the other side, that is Mr. Ego. You do not know how to use your freedom. So you try to dominate others. Your freedom means everybody's freedom is in danger. You are on top of everyone and torturing everybody's souls, and you are dominating by land and by property or by possessions. So either this way or that way, mentally if you are of this category or that category, you are against yourself. Just be in the center and see for yourself. Just be looking at it. Are you emitting love towards another person? If you are a slave, how can you love? You cannot. If you are free and abandoned, how can you love? Love has its own bondages, very sweet and beautiful. You have to live with them. You enjoy those bondages. For a little child will come to your house and he will spoil your house, no doubt, and that he should do. And you should enjoy that spoiling. Then your freedom, if it is challenged by a little child's crying, then you are not wise people. This is abandonment. Or I would say it is loneliness. It is cutting off from the primordial, from the big one, from the large one that you are. Is not to be able to tolerate the freedom of others. A child has no freedom to cry in the house. What sort of freedom you conceive of? A mother has no right to say something she wants to say about her child, which is her duty to tell him what is right and wrong. If the son does not have right to eat whatever he likes in his own mother's family, then what sort of freedom do you have? It's such a confusion of things. So this kind of freedom is just the opposite and extreme of enslavement. But in the center is love, where you are bound by everyone. I am bound by my children. Yes, I am. I am proud of them. They bound me, and I bound them too. It's a mutual bounding which we enjoy among ourselves. There is such a give and take when there is such a bondage of love. But do we understand the importance of bondage of love? At the slightest pretext we break it. Say a wife says, I would like to go out today. Husband says, why? I'm very tired, don't you understand? Or if the husband says, I feel like eating something, or some particular thing, he says, pancake or something. A small thing. Oh, I'm very tired every time you're divine. If she could just think, by making that little thing, he would be so very happy. She should be dying to know what he wants, and he should be dying to do what she wants, and then enjoy each other's company, or you are wasting all your properties that you have as human beings. You don't know how much you are wasting from each other. Every moment is filled with such beautiful bondages, where exchanges are there. What have you gained? The way you are fighting, the way you are going about, what have you gained? Let me see. When you die, you have to announce in the paper that XYZ is dead, and you find there's nobody. And you have to even pay for people to visit you when you die. This is the case today. Such dryness, such emptiness, such loneliness exists. What have we achieved through this? So this bondage, we have to. And there is no question of sacrifices either way. We must sacrifice for the family. What are you sacrificing? I mean, if you pay for your family, you get the joy out of it. That's why you do it. If you have to lead a nice, good life, you are not sacrificing anything, but you are gaining by that, leading a good life. If your wife says, don't go to the pub, and if you do not go there, then you should not say she is an orthodox, old-fashioned, this, that, and that, but instead you should thank your star that in these modern times also there's somebody who is telling you the truth. Because the whole edifice has come up, do you mean to say that truth should not be told? All this is falsehood in which you are living, and if you have to be happy, come down to reality. Friends also same thing. With the friends, what sort of relations we have with our friends? What do we expect from them? Sending them a Christmas card? And then if they don't send, feeling bad about it? There are no deeper bondages. We have not lived with them. If we allow ourselves to be bound by them, they will be bound by us. You better try this. Try to be bound by them. Don't be afraid of anybody else. Just try to be bound by others. And you'll be amazed how much they will be giving you. I am a living example of this. I can tell you, I am a living example of this. I am bound by all of you. If somebody says, Mother, when are you going to leave us? No, I cannot. I am just bound by you. I just do not want to leave because I love you very much. How can I leave you? It's impossible for me. So then, what do I gain out of this love? Everything that is in this world. What do you want me to get? I cannot even count what I can get out of it. Immeasurable ocean. I become an ocean myself. Break your ideas about your own personal freedom and liberation. Is liberating your intelligence. You are liberating your own wisdom. And the sweetness and the beauty, which is never perishable, whether you are old or young, that is going to be your own. But these poisons that are being built outside and inside you, please throw them away. These are mental poisons. Through Agnya, you can take them out. You see, this is an opening also through which many things go out. Try to work it out. Look at the tree with love. And you'll find that the tree itself is giving you the joy of its creation, because you'll become thoughtless. And the Creator who has made that beautiful tree will be pouring all that joy which is stored into it into. Every human being is a store of joy. Unlimited. I assure you, believe me. And don't waste them because somebody is not properly dressed, or he is not according to the way you want him to be, which you learnt in your public school. Every doorstep, everywhere there is beauty lying. Do not miss it. But if you have a possessiveness about it, and adultery about it, then you can never enjoy them. You can never enjoy all that beauty, all that store, all that wealth that is in every human being. Every moment it is bubbling. For Agnya, it's a good thing. Christmas is coming, and at the time when I have to wish you happy Christmas, that at this occasion I am speaking about Agnya Chakra, in which what I said is Agnya is one must know what to order and how to obey. Obey the divine, obey your elders, obey yourself and not your ego, and then you can order also others. Not only human beings, but you can even order the sun and the moon and all the winds and everything in the world. Everything you can control, everything with this Agnya. You try one thing. If you know somebody is going to do something wrong, just take his name and put it to Agnya. He'll not do it. Try it. This is a trick I'm telling about for those who are realized souls, not for those who are not yet realized, but those who are realized can try. If the other person is doing something wrong, you can try your Agnya. Anything you order on your Agnya will be respected, but your Agnya must have Christ there. Because you have the great support awakened within you, which does not exist here, but into every man's head. It is all pervading into all small atoms and molecules. It is everywhere, into the sun and any place you go. It is there. So try to develop your Agnya. That is the mastery of yourself. Those who have a good Agnya can master anything and understand that the idea about mastering worldly things and mastering human beings and mastering this, and some of them are mastering in, say, other crafts and things. Best thing is to master your Agnya. And you really become the master of yourself, by which you can master many things. And today, on this great day, when I'm wishing you a happy Christmas, I wish you to have the most powerful Agyas, that people, when they say your forehead, should know that Christ is reborn again within you. May God bless you.